the protagonist of the anime Black Clover, is one of the most inspiring characters when it comes to perseverance and overcoming. He was born into a world where magic is essential for status and success, but came into the world without any magical abilities. However, that never stopped him from dreaming of becoming the Wizard King. His tireless determination, his unshakable faith in himself, and his ability to keep fighting, even when all seems lost, make him an example of resilience. In the Bible, we see countless examples of people who faced impossible challenges, but who, through faith and perseverance, managed to achieve their goals. Asta's story reminds us that God does not choose the capable, but empowers the chosen. And even when everything seems to be against us, if we have faith and determination, we can overcome any obstacle. Since he was little, Asta has been ridiculed and discredited by everyone around him. In the world of wizards, a boy without a drop of magic was considered useless. But instead of getting frustrated and giving up, he dedicated himself even more. He trained his body every day, seeking to compensate for his lack of magic with physical strength and discipline. This mentality is very similar to that found in biblical characters such as Noah, Joseph, and David, who faced immense challenges but did not give up. Noah was called by God to build an ark at a time when it had never rained. He had to deal with ridicule from the people around him, who considered him crazy for building a gigantic boat for no apparent reason. But Noah trusted God's word and worked unceasingly, without giving up, until the flood came and his obedience was rewarded. Genesis 6 verses 9 to 22. Just like Noah, Asta faced ridicule and disbelief from others, but he never lost sight of his goal. He knew that his effort would not be in vain. Another biblical character who can be compared to Asta is the Apostle Paul. Paul, before his conversion, was a persecutor of Christians. However, after his encounter with Christ on the road to Damascus, he became one of the greatest evangelists in history. Acts 9 verses 1 to 22. Even facing arrests, shipwrecks, and persecution, Paul never gave up on his mission. He himself wrote in 2 Corinthians 12 verses 9 to 10, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me.'" This teaches us that our weaknesses are not reasons to give up, but opportunities for God to act in our lives. Asta had no magic, but found his strength in his anti-magic sword. God always provides a way for us to overcome our difficulties. The Bible is full of verses that encourage us to remain steadfast, even in the face of adversity. One of the best known is Isaiah 40 verse 31. "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar like eagles. They will run and not be weary. They will walk and not be weary." Asta is the personification of this verse. Even when facing much more powerful enemies, he never gives in to despair. He keeps fighting, believing he can improve and achieve his goal. Another biblical example that illustrates this persistence is the parable of the persistent widow, told by Jesus in Luke 18 verses 1 to 8. In the story, a widow constantly asks for justice from a wicked judge who repeatedly ignores her. But due to his insistence, the judge finally relents and grants his request. Jesus uses this parable to teach about the importance of persistence in prayer and in life. Just like the widow didn't give up, Asta doesn't give up either, no matter how many times he gets knocked down. Although Asta has no magical powers, he never sees himself as a failure. His confidence in himself and his companions reflects an important biblical truth. We need to trust God above all else. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 teaches us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge the Lord in all your ways, and he will make your paths straight." Even when circumstances seem impossible, trusting God is the secret to moving forward. Just as Asta trusts in his efforts and his friends, we must trust in God, knowing that he strengthens and guides us. Galatians 6 verse 9 gives us powerful advice. "And let us not become weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap, if we have not fainted." This means that if we persevere, we will be rewarded at the right time. Often, the fruits of our dedication do not appear immediately, but God honors those who do not give up. Asta could have given up at the first hurdle when everyone called him weak. He could have resigned himself to a fate without magic. But he chose to fight, and in the end, his perseverance was rewarded. Asta's story in Black Clover is a powerful reminder that no matter what difficulties we face, we must never give up. Just like the heroes of faith mentioned in the Bible, our perseverance leads us to victories that, at first glance, may seem impossible. When we look at Asta's journey and compare it to biblical teachings, we learn that difficulties are part of the path, but they should not demotivate us. Our weaknesses can become points of strength when we trust in God. Persistence and faith take us to places we never imagined reaching. Trusting in something greater than ourselves gives us the strength to continue. Just as Asta refuses to give up, we too must remain steadfast, knowing that God is by our side, enabling us to overcome any challenge. Whether in spiritual life, work, studies, or relationships, the lesson is clear. No matter how difficult the path, victory belongs to those who don't give up.